making the shift from traditional to generational ministry, it's not easy.
No.
It would be great if it could happen overnight, but it doesn't. And I've seen some try it and they just give up because
Right.
they say it's too difficult or it's too uncomfortable or people wouldn't come on board. What are some of the first steps that ministry leaders need to keep in mind as they make this transition?
Somebody encouraged me once. I got frustrated at a time because I felt our process was taking too long. Many years ago, when the Lord started to lead me in this direction and lead our church in that direction, we implemented. I talked to a few parents. I said, "Hey, what do you think about some of these ideas that we're going to do, some of these transitions?" And the parents were like, "Yes, yes, yes, yes." But then 8 years passed, which overnight felt like overnight. 8 years passed, and we still hadn't really done a whole lot. Now we implemented some changes, we did some things, and that was more visible changes. But when we think about that, when you think about the change and how to encourage people to keep at it, it's going to take time. Maybe that's not what people want to hear, but it's going to take time, and it is a process of learning. My children are younger right now, and we're teaching them different things. And I want them to just get it right away, right? You tell them, hey, do this, do that. And my wife and I will talk about, boy, if they just did it, how much time they would save themselves but they don't, right? They just don't.
I hear you.
And I feel like churches kind of approach the same way. If we just do this, and even we've heard it here at D6 again, if we just apply this program, if we just do this, everything will be fixed. It's not the magic cure. It's going to take time. It's going to take diligence, and be okay with failure. Be okay if it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, then go, okay, that didn't work. What can we learn from that, and how do we make an adjustment? I don't want to say change, but how do we adjust what we're doing to keep moving forward and not just become stagnant?
And you didn't say the word days or weeks or months. You said years. That is tough for people to swallow sometimes. Yes. But like you said, change does take time.
It was hard for us to swallow. I mean, it was frustrating. It was so discouraging. And I wasn't at a point where I was going to give up. But again, someone spoke into my life saying, no, you're right on track. 8 years is good. You're doing fine. He didn't say give up, but just keep on track. You're doing fine.
Well, there's no doubt that this is going to require more effort and more intentionality from parents and grandparents. How do you get them to buy into the process?
To help somebody buy into the process, I was thinking about this. We've invited them into the process, and so we can share from up front in the church. We can send emails. We can have seminars and things like this. But we've invited parents and grandparents to be the process. Now, the first thing that we did 7, 8, 9 years ago, I don't remember what it was, one of our elderly couples in our church, I said, hey, Bill and Joan, we'd love for you to come downstairs to the youth room. We'd love for you guys to share stories with us. And Bill looked at me, and he had a walker, and he said, you want me to tell stories? And I said, absolutely, Bill. I want you to tell our teenagers these stories. And so they came down, and they shared with us all these great stories. How did they come to know the Lord? How did these two meet? And then Bill, the kids have a chance to ask them questions, and then Bill just offered one thing, and he told the teenagers the best way to get rid of a Christmas tree. And I don't believe it's proper on this podcast to talk about gasoline and matches and things like that. However, the idea that we invited them to be a part of the process, and we've been doing that for 8 years. We're having not just older people, but parents, younger people, single people, come into our youth room, tell us stories. And that's just one thing of how we've helped them buy into the process. That was a direct way, but we invited them. I think that's really important.